My speech is on how sports shapes our society. And to begin with, I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. Just answer them in your head. And that's just to get you guys thinking about the topic. Now, first, what does sports mean to you? Give that a moment to think about that. And also think of what do you think of when you hear the word sports? What goes through your mind? Now, if you're struggling to think of something or don't quite know what I'm asking you, you could be thinking of more common sports that everyone kind of knows, maybe basketball, football, soccer, or you might be thinking of more unique sports that are less common known, maybe chess, boxing, or maybe you're just thinking of physical activity in general. Now, whatever you thought of, ask yourself why you thought of that specific example. And also, ask yourself what might have influenced that decision. Now, once you have an idea in your head, whatever you thought of, most likely is true. Sports can be interpreted in a wide variety of different ways, and so most likely what you thought of is true. And what might have influenced you here could have ranged from a lot of different things, but most likely it was that you played this certain sport, or maybe the country you come from and the culture you're from, the sport is very big. So these are kind of factors that influence what you're thinking about. And yeah, so this is just to get you thinking about sports and what it means for you. But why talk about this? So for me personally, ever since I could walk, I've been playing sports. I've played many different sports, from basketball, football, soccer, swimming, I could go on. But for me, having lived in America and Germany, and having played sports there, I've gained a lot of different experiences, and therefore also gotten to see what kind of impact sports has had on different people and on their societies. But that's just for me personally. What I hope you guys learn from this is that sports isn't just something you can do and it's good for your physical and mental health. I want you guys to realize that sports is integral in shaping and changing societies as we know today. So my first example comes that sports as a means of hope. Now, when I grew up in America, I lived in California. And for the different basketball teams I played there, I played with some guys who weren't as fortunate as me, who grew up in not as good situations. So they lived in trailer parks, they lived in mobile homes. And of course they had tremendous talent, but they didn't have the drive, they didn't have something to look forward to, because their lives were predetermined just to maybe finish high school and then get a job. But what I've realized is, through them playing sports and having a goal, having something to do every day after school, it gave them something to look forward to, it gave them something to do, and gave something which they can aspire to do better. And it gave them something to aspire to maybe go to college with a scholarship because of sports. So it gave them a hope to change their lives and make a better living for themselves. Now obviously, 99% of the times this isn't going to work. And that's just statistics, that's just the amount of people there are and the talent required to play a sport in the highest leagues. But for some people, like this guy here, probably most of you guys know, his name is LeBron James, and he was adopted as a kid and grew up in very bad conditions, but through sports, which gave him hope, which gave him a drive to move forward and achieve greater, he moved on and become one of the greatest basketball players there ever was. Sports can also be seen as a way of creating identity. And for this example, out of America, because when America was first formed, it was more of a collection of just different cultures coming together. They didn't have a clear identity of what they were. But through sports, like football and basketball, they have partially created their identity through this. Because the first thing, at least, that goes through my mind when I hear football, American football and basketball, is America. I mean, American football is even called the America's game. So, of course, sports isn't going to be the only factor which is going to lead to their identity, but it's definitely a big part of it. We also have sports as a way of breaking barriers. And my two examples here are Brazil and South Africa. Now, before football was introduced to Brazil, there was still a lot of separation between the colonists and the natives. There wasn't any interest or mutual interest that bound them together. But as football arrived, with its simple rules, it's easy to set up and play. Through this, the two communities began to interact and play with each other. And so they had a common interest, which they could both play, they could interact with each other, and through this, through the sport of soccer, they were able to form the multicultural and multi-ethnic country that we know today. Also, Nelson Mandela in South Africa, through his campaigning, he used sports greatly, mainly cricket and rugby, and tried to get the natives to be in the same league as those with colonists. He tried to get the rugby and cricket leagues to include both races and both in the leagues, so that, again, people could mingle and interact with each other. And so they realized that they're not really that different from each other, and so break down the barriers that existed. My last point is sports as a way of freedom, or as a symbol of freedom. And my example here is India. Now, cricket was probably one of the first major sports to be introduced to India, and with its low stamina and rules, it was very popular in the high humidity warm country. So cricket really took on in India, and it became a very famous sport. And when India had its movement for independence, cricket became more of a symbol of freedom and independence for them. It became their identity, what was theirs. So it became kind of a symbol that they rallied behind to gain independence. Now, what did you guys gain from this talk? Now, I hope that if anything, you guys have gained the knowledge that sports isn't just good for your physical and mental health, but sports also helps change and shape societies as we know. Thank you.